Hey there, yogi friends. Thank you for coming back to my channel and for taking this time for yourself. A lot of people come to me because they're experiencing lower back pain or discomfort or just kind of like a feeling in their low back at the end of the day. And for years and years, I worked in the food and beverage industry, standing on my feet, running through tables, running around the bar, and at the end of the day, I would feel this too. This was my go-to practice when I got home at night after working in restaurants and bars. It's super short. You can do it anywhere. You don't need any props. You don't need a mat. You just need yourself. And there's a couple of things going on when we feel that sort of like, that just like, ugh, in our back, you know, where it just feels like it's bone on bone and you're just like, I'm so uncomfortable, and it almost feels like you just need to be on like an old school torture machine and just be like stretched in two, right? But that's kind of what's happening in our low back. It's compressed from our weight standing on it all day. And we get compressed and we get shorter and shorter and shorter. The other thing that's happening is our stabilizing muscles along the outer edges of the legs, right? So if we're standing for long periods of time, these muscles along the outsides of our legs and our outer hips are working to hold us up, right? To keep otherwise we would be walking around like this, right? You know? So we need these muscles to sort of like keep all this going. But while they're doing that, they're working really, really hard to hold you upright, to keep your legs stable, right? So we're going to have to get into the glutes and the IT band as well to really make this practice yummy. And the first thing we're going to start in is just a forward fold to start to decompress through the spine. So I recommend using a wall. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the middle of the room, because if I do it at this wall, you can't see what's really going on the sides, right? So standing forward fold. You're going to want your feet, bring them pretty wide, okay? Wider than inner hip width, maybe wider than outer hip width. And a generous bend in the knees. So bending the knees is going to take this out of your hamstrings and really allow you to focus on opening up through the low back. You will still feel this in your hamstrings, especially if you have been standing all day. And then you're just going to let the upper body drape. Okay? Really let it be heavy. Bend the knees as much as, if you're here, that's fine. Okay? And then the last thing I want you to do is to bring the hands to clasp around the base of the skull. Let the elbows and shoulders relax down. Let the head relax and just feel the low back decompressing. So what this will look like at the wall is you want to be fairly close to the wall, but like give space for the back half of your body. You know what I mean? But you can lean up against the wall and then just fold forward. And allow yourself to lean as much as you need to feel the stretch. And breathe here. Bending through the knees. If it feels good, you can play around with extending the legs, right? So that might look like straightening one leg at a time and just kind of working around. Or maybe you just stay here. Maybe you bring a little bounce into it. It's the end of your day. This is to release your back. Give me 3 more deep breaths. Super awesome. All right, bring the hands out in front of you and just come down to your mat. So the next thing we're going to do, and I'm sorry, this is really irritating, is we're going to stretch out the bottoms of the feet. So just like the IT band and the outer glutes are helping us stand up, our feet do a lot of work, and most people don't stretch them, right? But they do get tight. There are muscles and tendons there that get really knotted up, especially if we're walking a lot or running or standing or even cycling. Everything we use our feet for brings brings tension into them and they need to be stretched as well. But it is super uncomfortable because we're not used to doing it, so I apologize. Do the best you can, and you can build up as we go, okay? So you want to tuck the toes behind you. Really tuck them. So the idea here eventually will be the ball of the foot in line with the heel, okay? And then you want to make sure they're spread really, really wide. So for me, I usually have to use my hands to help me. So make sure they're spread really, really wide, okay? Like this wide. And then you'll bring your knees down. Some of you might already be feeling this. And then what we want is to bring the shoulders over the hips, over the ankles, and then you're going to try to breathe with me. Now, if this is too much on your quads or your knees, you can bring support, blocks, pillows. You can just do this. That might be enough for you. Okay, but if you do have the flexibility in the knees and the quads, I'd like you to sit back here. I'm trying to distract you because I know this is super uncomfortable. But if you can, give me 4 more breaths. Deep breath in. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. It's almost over. One more deep breath, please. And exhale it out, hands down, and just tap that out. Okay? Thank you. Super. Okay, and then the rest of this is down on our back. We're going to get into our glutes, our outer hip, and then we're going to do some lateral stretching because this also, we don't stretch these muscles here, right, along the sides of our body very often, and they are also stabilizer muscles to keep us upright. So we'll get into the glutes and the hips a bit. We'll stretch those stabilizer muscles, do a little twist, and then you're all done, okay? So just 3 more poses, all right? Great, so come down onto your back. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. And some of you might be here today. You might be here always, that's fine. Some of this flexibility is genetic. Some of it is muscular and can be improved over time. But just be kind with yourself where you are today. If you're not really feeling anything, you have the option to bring the knees closer to the chest. Hold on if it feels good. Try to relax. And give me 8 deep breaths here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Relax the shoulders. Relax the muscles in the face. Maybe you open your mouth really wide, like you're about to scream. Maybe you do scream, ah! And then close the mouth. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. Good, and slowly release, bring the left foot down, uncross the right ankle. From here, you'll pick the hips up, shift them over to the right. Your feet will go over to the left. And then if you can, you're going to reach the arms up overhead and shift the shoulders over to the left as well. So you should be in a big letter C. This is banana pose, so think of being sort of a banana shaped, but the hip stays down, the shoulder stays down. If you are here, and this shoulder is like this, over your face, bend the elbow, or bring the arm out in line with the shoulder, right? If it's too much on the shoulder, don't worry about it. All you want to feel is a stretch maybe from this bottom rib here, all the way down through this right side of your body, okay? However you need to get there, you have the option to cross one ankle over the other. For some people, it's deeper if you cross the inside leg, which is the left one here, over the right. For some people, it's the other way around. Play with it, see what works for you, and give me 4 deep breaths. One more super deep breath in. And let it go. If the legs are crossed, uncross them. Start by bending the knees first. Come back to center. Left leg is straight. Right knee pulls into the chest. Cross the right knee over to the left. Come into a twist. So ideally here, you want to keep that right shoulder on the ground. If it comes up a bit, that's fine. But it's actually better for you to put a pillow under this knee and have the knee lifted and the shoulder on the ground than to bring the knee down and have the shoulder up, right? This puts too much pressure on the spine. You want a gentle spinal release. We're not trying to be at-home chiropractors here. 3 more deep breaths. And slowly come back to center. Bring the right foot down to the mat. Take the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. So as we move into this second side, please note that every side of the body is different. It might feel like somebody else's body this time. That's fine. Adjust as you need to. So if you need to stay down on this side, stay down. If you have the flexibility on this side as well, you can bring the leg in. If you get there and that doesn't feel good, go back to the foot on the ground. It's fine. We are looking for release and relief here. This shouldn't be a strenuous class for you. And just take 5 more deep breaths into that left hip. And when this muscle gets really tense, it can put a lot of pressure on the sciatic nerve in the back and cause a lot of tension. And often people misdiagnose their own sciatica as just having tight hips. So if you're feeling a lot of low back pain, try this. If you stand on your feet a lot, just giving a figure 4 like this, standing with like this leg straight every now and then will give you a huge relief in that lower back as you are going through your workday. And gently release right foot down, left foot down. This time you'll shift the hips over to the left. Your legs will extend over to the right. Arms and shoulders over to the right as well. Remember, you can bend the elbows if you don't have that flexibility in the shoulder. And then again, one ankle can cross over the other. Play around with what feels right on this side. Make sure both hips are flat on the ground. And then breathe deep breaths into that left side of your body. If the ankles are crossed, uncross the ankles. You'll bend the knees first. Legs come back to center. Straighten the right leg. Pull the left knee into the chest. Cross the left knee over to the right and twist. And again, if your knee doesn't come to the floor, that's fine. You want the left shoulder to stay down on the floor. So if you need to prop this left knee up, I'd rather that happened here so that you have a supported twist then for you to crank your body over. 4 more deep breaths. And go back to center. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock and roll around. And either lay down on your back and take a little shavasana, or you can rock yourself up to seated. Thank you so much for taking this 15 minutes to practice with me and to help your low back get a little bit of relief from standing. Have a wonderful day, evening, and namaste.